The reason this recession is not over is because, like I told you yesterday, the government has their fangs in the neck of our business, you know, and they're just sucking everything out. Well, this morning, when I heard the House Financial Service Committee approved pay for performance, I was reminded of something that Chairman and our good pal Barney Frank said about 2 weeks ago.
These people may have a right to their bonuses. They don't have a right to their jobs forever. The federal government now is the 80% owner. One of the things we can do to make sure this doesn't happen again, we've got people who are so irresponsible. And by the way, it does appear to me we're rewarding incompetence.
He's never been right. Barney Frank is saying we were rewarding incompetence. I think he's right. By the way, could we bring in the cupcakes? Come on, everybody. Come on, let's... I can't sing happy birthday to him because apparently we'd be sued because... I don't know who owns the rights to happy birthday. That's why you go to, like, Fridays and they're like, happy birthday, this is a stupid song, we all have to stand around, and everybody's embarrassed and you want to kill yourself. Anyway, happy birthday, Barney Frank. He's 69. I just gave you time to make your own joke. Here, everybody, eat a Barney Frank. Anyway, look, here's the thing. Lawmakers have screwed up enormously, and they should be held to the same standard as the evil AIG executives making $1 a year. Given that Barney Frank has literally no private sector experience, I think we should evaluate him as a public servant, which he has been since 1972. What's wrong with you, Massachusetts? Take the mortgage crisis. In July of last year, Barney Frank made this brilliant statement.
I think this is a case where Fannie and Freddie are fundamentally sound, that they are not in danger of going under. They're not the best investments these days from the long-term standpoint.
Ooh, sorry. Thanks for playing a game, though. We have his involvement in giving $12 million in TARP funds to a troubled One United Bank in Boston, even though the Treasury said it's only going to give money to the healthy banks. It gave it to that one for some unknown reason, which... By the way, isn't Maxine Waters the head of the House, you know, the Financial Services Subcommittee on Housing? Wasn't her husband the bank's director until last spring? It's so great. It's like Congress is one big happy family, strangling us all to death. A little further into the past, a pesky little conflict of interest where his boyfriend was at Fannie. When he was overseeing it, the House Banking Committee from 1991 to 1998, I mean... You know, hey, that's no big deal. So what is it we're giving Mr. Barney Frank? We're giving him $174,000 a year of your money with unbelievable great health care. I mean, you can't get it. He's also entitled to $93,000 a year in retirement benefits as soon as he leaves office. That's it. I mean, makes me feel good. I tell you what, I'm going to let you decide. Do you think Barney Frank, you know, is using the people's money in the right way, or should he be held to a higher standard? How about all of those in Congress? Maybe that's what these Tea Parties should be all about. Relinquish your pay. I mean, until we fix just a couple of things. I mean, the budget that's completely out of whack, an economy that's on the skids, 2 wars, officials that are either incompetent or totally corrupt. I mean, I just think that maybe you how do you sleep at night? By the way, happy birthday, sweetie pie. Here's a Republican of South Carolina. He's the governor there. He's Mark Sanford, and you're not amused by these antics on this program. How are you, Governor?
I'm always amused by you, Glenn. No. I never know what's coming next.
I'm not really sure what that means. Okay, Governor, listen, first of all, good for you for standing up against taking this. This is heroin that they are trying to put into the veins of the states, and good for you for standing up and saying, no, we're not going to take it. But I read something that was amazing to me. They're now going around you and saying the state has no right to reject these funds. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's federalism is dead 101. And, you know, the Founding Fathers believed in this notion of states being incubators of different changes, that we'd have different applications because we're different. I mean, California is very different than South Carolina. And what they're basically saying is, no, you do it our way. You take the program as we've configured it. We had proposed twice saying, wait a minute, based on our debt levels, based on some needs that we have as a state, we want to put some money aside for a rainy day. And basically they said no. But not only did they say no, the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, ran ads against me all last week saying, call the governor, tell him to do as we've told him to do.
No, wait. So you got to do it. You got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way. This is the way they always do it. You call Governor Sanford's office and tell him we don't want any of his shenanigans around here. That's the way they always do it. But anyway, go ahead.
I can never do it quite the way you can do it, but what's interesting is, why do you have governors, why do you have state legislative bodies if there's no discretion in altering things as you see fit at the local level? And if you think about this in a military sense, they give discretion to the commander in the field. In a business world, they give discretion to the person that's out there at the plant manager level. And in this case, we're being relegated to very strange roles that I think are ultimately hazardous to this republic's existence, that go beyond the weight and the scale of printing money that you don't have, which in itself is obviously a huge problem.
Okay, a lot of people watch and they're frustrated, and I don't understand why they're not more diehard liberals that are as frustrated. The ones who were saying this budget is out of control, the spending is out of control. Now we don't even hear about any of that. And quite honestly, the hypocritical Republicans who didn't have a problem with the budget before and now do, I mean, we've got to talk about principles, and that's what you were talking about. But the new Department of Education head, who, what a surprise, is from Chicago. But he said that he cares about the children. And he's going to just take care of these children because you just won't take care of these children because there's a lot of new programs. But your point, if I'm not mistaken, is no, you're taking care of the children in South Carolina by not taking it. Can you explain that?
I mean, a couple things. One, give me a break. And this is the ultimate in nanny state, when you have an unelected superintendent of education at the federal level dictating to an elected governor and an elected House and Senate what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. I would secondly say what we said was, wait a minute, since we don't have any of this money that's now being dispensed from Washington, D.C., since we're going out and printing money and we're issuing debt to solve a problem, mind you, that was created by too much debt, since that's taking place and since those costs will be borne by the next generation, in fact, it is sort of fiscal child abuse to do what we're doing. And we say spending matters, but it ought to be sustainable, and therefore that which is not sustainable shouldn't be jammed on the next generation.
Governor,
so our point in trying to rebuff what the Secretary was saying...
I'm sorry, sir. I've got to go. Just yes or no, are you going to stop do everything you can and stop this money from coming across your border?
We've tried in a lot of different ways. We'll continue to try.
Good. Thank you very much, Governor. We'll keep in touch.